101.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning. Did I get that right?
You got it right. Good morning.
Been rehearsing it all day
yesterday
and in my car and
right
as I'm shopping. Just
you mutter it to yourself.
Yeah, they're wondering what I'm saying at the checkout counter.
Well, here it is, Tuesday, a week from today, Election Day.
Yeah.
1 week to go.
Isn't that incredible?
Oh,
really. I don't know. I don't even know if we can make it.
You don't think
as
so?
a nation, are we going to be able to handle this thing?
I don't know.
God.
It's been a long road to get to this point.
It really has. I mean,
1 week to go.
It has divided us in such a way that now we know who the enemies of democracy are and who aren't.
Yeah. Well, that's the
good
news. Huh?
That's the good news.
Okay. Well, we've got clear skies this morning. It's beautiful out there, but it's warm. Yeah, step outside. Ooh.
It is awful warm.
Yeah,
and
68 degrees.
We had the window open in the bedroom, and it was just humid and hot all night long, and it just
got balmy summer breezes.
Yeah, just
through
awful.
the streets of Madison.
Yeah, we're getting southerly winds up to 15 to 20 miles
that
per hour
we can
today.
use. Yeah, and oh boy, that's great. I was thinking about maybe mowing the leaves today, and all I have to do now is just watch them blow into the neighbor's yard.
That's it.
So
sit back.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Let's see what the high temperature today will be.
Okay, let's check that out.
What, you want to put your bet down? What do you think?
Are we
Just
going to the one-armed bandit for this thing?
Yeah, let's go to the one-armed bandit.
All right, well, I don't know. Okay. I think it's going to be about 85 today.
Okay. All right. First digit is 0. 80. 80 degrees.
I missed it.
80 degrees for a high today. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
for
that's pretty
the end of
unbelievable,
October.
Actually.
But then some changes in the wind, tomorrow and the next day, especially Halloween day, looks like it's going to be kind of rainy, at least for the early part of the day.
But that's okay. That. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they have early Halloweens in some towns.
Maybe.
I always hated that, when I'm going out there with my little kids.
Well, they're not so little anymore. You don't have to worry about it.
No, I don't have to worry about it now.
Do they still go out?
No. Okay. I insisted that they didn't go out. I had to stop them at the door.
Yeah.
But, in the old days, I thought, geez, it kind of destroys the whole ambiance of Halloween, the whole reason why we go out, to be frightened, to scare people.
Yeah.
You don't do it in daylight.
No.
Right?
You should do it in the evening.
Yeah, it should be at night.
But they do it a little earlier these days,
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's just giving the wrong impression to young kids who should be, scared to death at night, worried about what's under their bed, in their closet,
right? Because
there is something in your closet and under your bed, and your parents won't tell you.
Oh,
it's John Peterson.
You think so? By the way, somebody took me to task yesterday on the text line, and by the way, you can text us at 608-879-TALK. Or get on the Civic Media app.
What are they on you about?
The way I say Halloween.
You say
Halloween.
Yeah.
I say Halloween. And they're like, come on, Gordy, it's Halloween, not Halloween.
Oh, that's
okay.
Good. Yeah.
All right. I'll try to correct that.
It's a pet peeve of mine. I like Hallows Eve, Halloween.
And then tomorrow's the Devil's Night.
But I don't care. I don't care to correct you on it. It's not a correction at all. It's just the way you say it. Everybody says it differently.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. But, if you want to say Halloween, that would be
Halloween
preferred. But who's going to change
Halloween.
You now after all these years?
Nobody.
I know.
Nobody.
So what were you going to say?
I forgot.
No, you
what?
You were leading into something.
I was?
On that, yeah. Weren't you?
I don't recall.
Oh, God.
Just somebody was, after me about my pronunciation.
Oh, look.
We got a text in
here
this morning.
That's pretty cool. What is that?
Good morning from Sherry.
Is that from Sherry?
Yeah. Good morning, John and Gordy and Sam.
That's a little dark from Sherry this morning.
Usually she has a happy-go-lucky meme. This this doesn't look good.
It's always about coffee, though, and it seems instead of an anthropomorphic coffee mug that's happy and dancing, we have somebody
a zombie
in a
female zombie
state of confusion after just waking up, searching for her coffee.
Looks very tired.
That is fantastic.
Disheveled, but it's a good one.
Good job,
Thanks,
Sherry.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can text us, can't you, dear listener, at 608 879-TALK.
That's it.
Very simple.
You got
Very
it.
Simple and easy. Or on the Civic Media app, right?
It's on the Civic Media app.
Yeah.
Just do the easy way.
Easy way.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the National Day Calendar, one of our favorite segments of the show. According to our listener at 1701, he can't wait for it.
He loves it. We always try to add a little politics to it, a little slant to it. But
Yeah. Is it or is it not?
yeah.
National Hermit Day. How about
Nice.
National Oatmeal Day? Is it National Newspaper Carrier Day? Or is it National Cat Day? Which one of those days did not belong? Let's start with Sam this morning.
Okay, great.
You still awake, Sam?
Boy, yes. You're throwing me for a loop having me go first.
I know.
It's not Newspaper Carrier Day, is it?
You are correct. It is
All right.
not.
Yeah, that's right, John. You don't get a chance to answer.
Why did you select that, Sam?
About half an hour ago, I looked at the list.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
See,
man,
cheated.
see? Oh,
Okay.
because I would have thought maybe National Oatmeal Day sounds a little bland.
Well, it is National Oatmeal Day
Yikes.
today, though. Hearts get healthy on National Oatmeal Day. Not only is oatmeal one of America's favorite breakfast foods, but we also celebrate it annually on October 29th. It's a perfect day to enjoy one of America's favorite breakfast foods. Okay. It's pretty much said the same thing over and over
I
again.
have oatmeal each and every day of the week,
No kidding.
Monday through Friday.
Do you change up what kind of oatmeal
I
or
always
what things you put in
That's
it?
the problem I have. I want to add a little variety to it. I do put a little maple syrup in some of it, but I do add what I put in it is protein powder.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it's a coffee flavored. It's actually
Of course it's coffee
Dunkin'.
flavored.
It's a Dunkin' Donut. It's a Dunkin' Donut cappuccino flavor, and there's coffee in it, no chocolate. I like that, but I'm really tired of it at this point. So I want to put something else in. I'm thinking if I put some frozen cherries in it, because they have frozen cherries out there, maybe that'll melt and create a nice flavor for the oatmeal. But I'm not sure. The one thing you shouldn't do ever
What?
is put jam in
Jam?
oatmeal.
Why would you put jam in it?
I try. Well, it's a flavor, right? I mean, we have raspberry jam or strawberry jam, and you put it in there and flavor it. But it takes about a half a jar of the
Jeez.
jam to make it even taste
You
like.
got a sweet tooth.
No,
crazy.
that's the problem. It's way too sweet, ridiculously sweet. I wanted the flavor of strawberries. I just kept adding the jam. It just became ridiculous, Anyway,
Boy,
I'm looking for a way to vary up the oatmeal.
Well, here's some ideas. Okay,
Oh,
you ready
okay.
for this?
Wow.
Yeah, you lead right into this. A
Yeah.
warm bowl of oatmeal starts off the day right. You can add spices, fruits, nuts, nut butters to add flavor. It also is a versatile ingredient. You can add oatmeal to bake cookies. You can create a delicious crumble cookie. You can use it to make granola, cookies, and bars. And there are different kinds of soups that call for oatmeal.
Oh.
Soups.
That's-
I've never had soup with oatmeal in it.
I suppose it would be a good thickener. It's
Yeah, it says that adds a thickening texture and a nutty flavor. Steel cut oats are coarsely cut oats. These are different kind of oats in oatmeal. They're the nuttiest and most flavorful. And then oatmeal comes in different forms. Rolled oats
right.
are a whole grain oat, and rolled oats.
There's quick oats, old fashioned oats.
You're right. You're going right down the
I
list
know.
here. Bowl of oatmeal.
I know too much about oatmeal.
Here's some health benefits.
Yeah.
Can lower cholesterol.
Yep.
May reduce the risk of heart disease.
Yep.
Can reduce your risk of cancer, according to the American Cancer Society. The grain is low in fat. Oatmeal is low in calories. Add oatmeal to your diet as a good source of iron and fiber.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I
You're-
just want a little
You're endorsing.
variety.
You should be the endorsement guy for oatmeal. You know it all. You got it all. Okay. Here's
Yeah.
another one that's right up your alley.
Really?
National Hermit Day.
Oh,
Recognizes the hermit in all of us today. A hermit is a person who lives to some degree to seclusion from society. Looking at you, John Peterson.
isn't it something, here we are, we're, out there
Yeah.
constantly meeting the public. But really, when we go home, we just want to hide away in a corner someplace.
Speak for yourself.
Really? Really? You don't hide away. You don't want to just,
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
steer clear of
This is why
everyone.
you got into radio instead of television, right? So
That's
people
it.
wouldn't recognize you in public.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how social a person is, everyone needs to take a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Hermits know how to do that. They know how to avoid the public. They have mastered the ability to live independently without social interaction. Some of today's modern conveniences may even make it more probable to become a hermit. Yeah, I guess that is maybe true.
Yeah.
The word hermit comes from the Latin ermata, meaning of the desert. However, this is only one day, not a lifestyle change. It's simply a retreat into your own quiet someplace, isolated from the rest of the world. So celebrate National Hermit Day. Get away from it all.
That's something you
Sit in a
perfected
closet.
at your home.
That's right. No guests allowed.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Hang on a
Well,
second.
that's interesting enough right there.
Is it?
Some people,
we
they
just leave it
like
right
to steer
there?
clear of people by going shopping. They just want to blend in. They just want to become, anonymous out there.
Yeah, I guess so. Got nothing. National Cat Day. It's Cat Day. You have any cats? I know you got the Kraken dog, but how about Sam? You got any cats?
No, there was one
Okay.
living under my porch for a while.
Okay.
That's right. You needed a cat, right? Because you had some.
I had a
rodent
mouse in my
problems.
house. Yeah,
Yeah.
I caught it through other means, but
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
good
don't know.
that it was just one, right?
well,
Oh.
so far it's just one.
Where there's one,
Sophia,
there's
my girlfriend,
family.
is a little afraid to come over to my house now because she doesn't want a mouse to run out
Oh my
through
God.
the house.
scary.
Well, that's the excuse. Oh, well, I got it.
Yeah. It is National Cat Day. Cats make excellent companions. They rarely miss you, but when they do, you sure know it. Awareness days such as this one urge pet lovers to adopt from a local shelter. Yeah. Yeah. I'm more of a dog person, but I'm taking
Same
the
here.
cats occasionally. I mean,
Well, I mentioned I had a cat for a
Little-
while, 2 years, until
Yeah.
I became allergic to the cat,
yeah.
and I traded him rather, like a dog.
But your allergies change over the years.
Yeah.
I thought I was allergic to cats, but
Really, and it went the other way
kind of
for you.
went, yeah. Well,
Cool.
now not so bad. Okay, well that's it for the National Day calendar, but we've got history stuff right around the corner with Sam Davison, our history expert.
All right. Can't
It's-
wait for that.
It's John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
We're gonna rock this town, rock it inside out.
sounds like something Stephanie Miller would play when somebody had said some kind of profanity.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, she does that. Yeah. It's 21 minutes.
What the
past
hell is
hour.
this from?
Yeah,
Oh my God! This music is really. I'm starting to hyperventilate here.
That's the theme to The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're playing that because it would have been his birthday today.
That's right.
Yeah. Right?
Yes, Bob Ross was
All
born
right.
today in
We'll
1940.
get to the Bob Ross story.
Yeah, you got to
eventually.
tell me about this because
You haven't seen the movie?
I saw the
No,
movie.
The documentary?
I've
But-
watched a little of The Joy of Painting, his show.
Oh,
There's
sure.
a lot of people from Gen Z who love Bob
Oh,
Ross.
It is.
sure.
It is. It's just a great show.
But
It is.
I'm
It's
not
terrific.
familiar with I
His
don't
dark
know,
side?
Yeah, yeah, his dark side.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, there was a movie, and I can't remember who starred in the movie.
Oh,
Played
yeah.
Bob Ross. Oh, it was Owen.
Owen Wilson?
Owen
Yeah,
Wilson
Yes.
Oh.
played Bob Ross.
Gee, I didn't see that movie. No.
Yeah.
But there's, I think, a movie or a documentary about his life that, well, there was a whole nother thing he was into.
Really?
Yeah, there was an affair going on with with somebody else in the
Stagehand
company.
or something?
I don't know. Yeah. I have to look it up in Wikipedia here.
But here's the thing,
Yeah.
and if you ever watched The Joy of Painting,
Mm.
watching Bob Ross put his paintings together.
Yeah. that was
Sometimes you just think, oh man, you shouldn't have done that first. You shouldn't have put that color down first and then expect to kind of layer on top. But no, it's
But
the
he
wrong
always,
one.
he could always fix it.
But he made it work.
He did
Yeah,
make it work. It
he
always
did.
He had it down to a science.
He
Just
did,
about.
man. This guy, every painting I just loved. I was thinking, is there something wrong with my judgment on,
Were you?
on what
Were you? Because you
quality
went to
painting
art
took
school.
me?
Were
I
you
did.
Were you much into painting?
I was, yeah. I
Yeah.
really got into painting a lot.
Really?
I loved pop art,
yeah.
so I was doing that.
Do you still have your paintings?
No, the teachers loved them so much
No,
that
they-
they kept them as an example in the classrooms, and I
Really?
never got them back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
Well,
that doesn't seem
Of course,
right.
when they kicked me out, it was like hit the bricks, man. It's like they didn't give me a suitcase. They didn't give me my old artwork. They just said, see you later.
Uh-huh.
Kind of walked me out the doors. No,
Just
that-
a little
that-
bit about
that didn't happen.
Bob Ross's personal life. He was
Yeah.
married 3 times, had 2 children, a child he fathered from a relationship he had as a teenager, and a son, and his first wife, let's see, talented painter, blah, 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 blah. It's, his first marriage ended in divorce in 1977 due to his infidelity. He was very secretive about his life and had a great preference for privacy. There was a whole lot going on. The documentary I'm talking about is the PBS documentary. They actually did the documentary on him. Bob Ross, the Happy Painter. He had lots of stuff going on, legal settlements with his various wives and
boy.
other stuff going on. It's too much to get.
I would assume those paintings are worth an awful lot now.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to all those actual paintings that he
A lot
did.
of them.
he made multiple of the same painting.
Right.
Actually, he would paint it ahead of time, and then there would be one that he painted while filming the show.
Right.
Wow.
And so there's multiple copies of these paintings. I'm pretty sure they went out to PBS member stations around the country.
Yeah, it was produced in Indiana at a small PBS station there, and then got nationwide fame out of that. Sold books and painting kits
Yeah.
all across the country.
I
Made
guess
a lot of money.
There was another painter that did pretty much the same exact thing in another market.
Oh, really?
And he decided he wanted to do the same thing, and boy, did he perfect it! I mean,
yeah.
well, there was a little competition there, I think, from what I remember in the movie.
Okay. Speaking of movies,
Yes.
we have another birthday. Richard Dreyfuss. I don't know why I'm doing the birth. This is your department, Sam.
Well,
Yeah, wait.
okay, I recognize his name, but
Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, I only he's in Jaws, right? That's the
Yes.
only movie
Yes.
that I know with him in it.
Well, that's kind of the one that made him.
Right.
Yes, made him a star. He was in a lot of movies. The one I was thinking about was What About Bob, which was with Bill Murray. Hilarious movie.
Yes. Was he in Close Encounters?
He was, yeah. Close Encounters of the Third
Was
Kind.
it the
Yeah.
American Graffiti?
Yes, he was in American
wow.
Graffiti. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Though.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Well, yeah. Sam, why don't you take over on the history, and I'll look up more about Richard Dreyfuss
All right,
now.
you do that, Gordy.
Okay.
Let's see. At the end of last week, we talked a little bit about the Great Depression. It was Black Thursday.
Yeah.
And, well, guess what? Today is Black Tuesday.
Well, wait a
it
minute.
is.
Why do we have to have
Yeah,
a
why do
Black
we have a Black
Tuesday?
Tuesday?
Well, the stock market crash of 1929 didn't happen over just one day. It happened over like 3 or 4 days. And Thursday last week in 1929 was kind of the first nosedive. Today, Tuesday in 1929 was the second nosedive.
Okay.
What, John?
A nosedive.
Funny.
Because now I'm thinking, well, why didn't we make all 5 days a holiday?
Yeah.
But it didn't go straight down, and there was like a weekend in between.
I can imagine. Yeah, I
They took a
figured
couple of days
that makes
off.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But now we should have a Black week basically. Black
Yes.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Yikes. All
Okay.
right.
Well, let's see what else we got. Today in 1945, the very first ballpoint pens go on sale.
Oh, boy.
At
Let's
What
get
a
it-
day that was.
Let's get into that topic again.
Well, it was
We're
a big-
passing around this awful
it
big
was a
pen.
big deal. Yeah, you hate the Bic Crystal, the standard clear Bic
Yeah,
pen.
they're
Oh,
terrible
God,
pens.
these are awful
well,
pens.
that's probably they're way cheaper than the original ballpoint pen. Take a guess at how
Okay.
much it cost.
I don't know.
almost nothing and shouldn't cost anything.
$20.
In 1945, they went for $12.50, which
Oh,
if you
my
run it-
God.
if you run it through an inflation calculator, is about $212.
Okay.
Would you pay $212
No, for that,
a
no.
pen?
Not at all.
Catherine loves these pens. She's the one
Seriously?
that thought
Yeah.
these were the best pens ever.
Are you kidding me?
I
Remember
kinda like-
when you were a kid, didn't you take these pens apart and make them into spit
Yes,
shooters?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
Spitballs.
Spitballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're perfect for that. That's one good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing in the history books today in 1969, Bobby Seale was
Oh,
gagged
man.
during the trial of the Chicago 8.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just like kept yelling out stuff, and the judge had to shut him up or something, right?
Yes. The judge was insane.
Oh,
First of all. Just
Tell
mention
us.
the judge's name. Well, the Chicago 7. It started out as Chicago 8.
right.
Get down to Chicago 7 because I think eventually they got rid of Bobby Seale. They just took him out of the trial.
They took him out of the trial.
completely. Said you're going to have a separate trial for this guy.
Yeah, there's a movie
Yeah.
based on that.
Yeah,
That was really a good movie too.
it was. And I can't remember the judge's name. Does it have it there? No.
I don't have it off the top.
Well, it was in a song, wasn't it? They mentioned him a few times in
Yeah.
rock songs back then.
A couple other Richard Dreyfuss movies just as we go
Yeah.
out here. The Goodbye Girl, Mr. Holland's Opus. That was a great. 6:29. We're coming back with Idiocracy. It's John and Gordy in the morning. Good morning.
As the 21st century began, intelligence continued to decline until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Now listen, Grapehead. I'll explain it so even you can understand it.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Good morning.
Oh, we got a stack of junk to tell you about today.
We do.
Man.
92.7 WMDX. It is 6:35. Weather today, it's going to be warm and breezy. It's already 68 degrees, expecting a high near 80. And this portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on handcrafted Verlo mattress. Available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com.
All right.
Idiocracy.
Yes. Let's
Here we
start off
go.
with a MAGA says the dumbest things, okay?
Okay.
Let's do that. This is cut 253. And again, it started off as probably a joke, but now MAGA's on this thing. They're saying the government controls the weather.
Oh, not again.
Yeah.
They're on
What do you
this?
think happened with the hurricanes that happened
What I
in?
think happened with the
yeah.
hurricanes? I think that they want the land. You know, I think that the government wants the land, and this is what they did.
But what do you mean that what they did?
They made a fake tornado. Yeah, they planted whatever they do. They put that
Manipulated
the weather exactly.
But you think the government manipulated the weather?
Oh, I think the government is not our friend, sir. The government is not our friend.
Do you think the government created the hurricane to
Somebody
to
did.
hurt the United States?
Absolutely, not to hurt the United. They want the land. They want the land for the what is that? The batteries, uranium stuff, whatever it is.
Lithium.
The lithium. That.
The only reason I know that is because another lady at a Trump rally told me.
Oh, they know. You don't know? You don't watch the news? You know.
I do watch the news. Yeah. Do you watch the news?
No, not all of it.
Okay.
No, not all of the news. What? Well, just part of the news.
Just part of
Wow.
Newsmax or Fox.
Doesn't make any sense at all. These people, they're scatterbrains. These are people waiting to see Trump at a rally.
Sure.
My God. Well, anyway.
If the government's controlling the weather, they're doing a damn poor job of it. I mean,
Well, that's true.
but she's saying they're setting up these hurricanes and
Yes.
so they get the land
So
back
they could
for
steal the land back.
lithium batteries.
Right,
Where is that?
right.
How does the lithium battery thing work in?
Well, they're finding
need land to
areas
make-
with lithium. And they're saying, well, we need these batteries, so let's take the land back. So this is another government land grab, Indigenous white Americans.
Okay.
we should be angry about this, right?
I guess.
All right.
Doesn't
My
make any
God.
sense at all.
I know. Oh, this segment is really depressing.
Idiocracy?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I want to get to this text here before we forget.
Okay.
Last Christmas, there was a Bob Ross chia pet.
Well, I think those have been
Those
around
are
for a
very,
while.
very
Yeah.
popular to this day.
Chia.
Chia.
We should get a bunch of chia pets and put them in the window.
Yeah,
here.
that's a great idea.
See how they grow.
We need some plant life
We
here
do?
in the
Good.
studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
No,
You don't like
You don't want to
plants?
do that.
No, let's not
Why
do
not?
that.
Why
You
not?
are a
What's
curmudgeon, aren't
what's
you?
I
wrong
am.
with houseplants?
Well, no, you can certainly put as many plants up in the studios you'd like. I don't live here, so go ahead. Have at it.
Okay. All right. Sam, we'll get on that.
All right.
What,
What's next?
They always
did-
come out with a new chia pet every year, don't they?
Are chia pets you can still buy them, but are they
Oh,
still
sure.
like coming up with new
Well,
things?
Yes.
Yeah, they're always
Every
coming up
year.
with new things.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, in the old days, it was a horrible thing to go to a fern bar. Remember the fern bars? Remember
Yeah,
them?
I do. Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking here. You start putting all these plants in the studio here. This is a fern studio, and I'm out of
We're
here.
gonna turn it into a jungle, into a rainforest in here.
A yuppie fern studio.
Yeah, fern bars were for yuppies, and
Yeah.
they didn't last
That's
long. but
yeah, they didn't last at all.
it got taken over by sports bars. I
Yeah.
think.
Thank God. And I hate sports bars, but yes, thank God they were taken over by that.
Yeah, too many ferns.
Okay, let's get to Kudlow. He worked for the Trump administration.
Yeah.
And he was wrong every time he spoke. He's still wrong every time he speaks. This is a segment. This is an actual segment. Somebody had recorded it. It starts off with a report on the stock market, going through the roof as usual, and then it goes right into the next program, Kudlow's program.
Larry Kudlow.
And then you listen to what has happened here for Cut 256.
You're hearing those closing bells. Again, a little bit higher pretty much on all of the indices, not quite at records, but trying to get closer. That'll do it for Claiming Countdown. Kudlow's next.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, President Trump, electrifying, strong closing message to the nation last night at Madison Square Garden. Kamala broke it. Trump will fix it.
There you go. So, almost record highs on the stock market, but Kamala broke it.
She broke it.
Yeah. Trump's going to fix all of the things that aren't broken. And I think he's going to come through with every one of those promises for some reason.
I think so. I think the stock market has had like 7 record highs this year, something like that. It's been incredible.
Yeah. Well, there's another comment. There's a disturbing link between the anti-vaxxers and the weather control cloud seeding contrails. Emphasis on the con. Right.
Oh, actually.
What?
And check this out. Now, the financial markets are soaring. They've had 71 record highs this year.
Wow.
71.
GDP, the country's going to hell.
Yeah. GDP growth, best in the world. Biden cut the deficit by 1/3. Yeah. Inflation at a low now, 2.2%.
Yeah. You got to think, after hearing that, obviously Trump can do much better.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
So let's continue with idiocracy.
Please.
Elon Musk could get a huge tax break from Donald Trump. Well, get that, huh? Trump's promise to give Musk a top job could make the billionaire CEO eligible for a special tax benefit worth tens of billions of dollars once Musk gets that government job to cut out waste in the government system.
What job would he be good for? The Trump administration. What could he possibly
Well, he's a sociopath, so he could certainly cut a lot of really important programs throughout the country that we have grown to love and need. But anyway, that's
Maybe he could be chief of staff.
Not that he grows, not that he loves and needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Need anything.
Now, this is an important part of the whole thing. The thing we're worried about most if Trump were to win the election and become president. The Supreme Court has certainly set this up to make this the worst and most diabolical presidency ever. And Gwen Ifill had a little bit of warning here on this particular clip. Let's listen to 206. All right, this is Gwen Ifill.
He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want?
Sherilyn Ifill is the Vernon Jordan Endowed Chair in Civil Rights at Howard University.
Trump believes that he's a TV character, so he believes he can fire the attorney general if he doesn't like the attorney general. And he did fire the attorney general. He fired Jeff Sessions. So he wants to do that. He wants to have control over all of the agencies. He wants to abolish the Department of Education. He wants to ensure that there are no protests against his government. And he constantly says they know how to handle this in China. When protest is one of the core activities of democratic citizenship. He also said that people who are criticizing conservative Supreme Court justices should be jailed for the way they talk about justices. And we mustn't forget that part of the reason he is feeling this muscular is because the Supreme Court in its shocking and appalling decision that essentially set the president above the rule of law, has said that what he does in office, if they are quote unquote official acts, are not capable of being prosecuted even after he leaves office. So now he is feeling even more emboldened. And of course, Trump believes that if he is elected, he will never leave office. So we are in real trouble. If we think about a second Trump term, and what Trump has also ratcheted up, Chris, is his explicit racism, because he sees that there are no consequences or accountability for it.
Right.
And he also sees the signals coming from the Supreme Court about race. So I am deeply and profoundly concerned. We should remember that some of the consequences of Trump's actions and words are not about government apparatus. They're about the 20% rise in hate crimes that occurred during his presidency, and the language that he unleashed, and the sense of violence that he unleashed in the population that we all experienced. And that is very real in the lives of people who are going to be affected by it.
Just an amazing thing. You think about Madison Square Garden's rally as well. That fits perfectly into that description. My God. No guardrails.
Nope, none whatsoever. It sounds like that's doing a lot of GOP moderates, if you want to call them that, are coming out against everything that happened at Madison Square Garden.
A lot of Republicans now voting for Harris, coming right out and saying it.
And, of course, the Puerto Rican vote is swinging her way now, too.
It's not like, a lot of these people are getting away with just saying anything they want at Fox News now, because Janine Pirro appeared on C-SPAN.
Oh, really?
And, she got an interesting caller, and this would be cut 229. This person really kind of tells it like it is to Janine. So let's listen to it.
Thanks for taking my call, and thanks for C-SPAN. I really appreciate it. Our president and our beautiful first lady, they went down to El Paso, Texas, and they posed with a baby that the president's rhetoric, Fox News rhetoric, your rhetoric, had helped to orphan. And I think this thing about Trump is making America great again. Trump has made America hate again. And it's this hatred of races. I hear it all the time when I talk to Republicans, and they say, oh, I went down to Texas, and there are all these Mexicans down there, and they're all speaking Spanish. Well, I got news for you. Those weren't Mexicans. Those were the Americans. That guy that went down to El Paso to shoot a bunch of Mexicans, he shot a bunch of Americans. And I'm really tired of this anti-immigrant, anti-people with brown skin rhetoric that's coming out of Fox News, coming out of people like you, and coming out of our president. It's demeaning. It's beneath the office. It's beneath you. You used to be a judge. You know better. It's time that stopped.
There you go.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. An earful, right? And Janine has to be polite on C-SPAN. They demand it there.
Yeah.
So he got to say what he wanted to say, and I thought he said it really well. A lot of people down there, they may speak Spanish, but they're actually Americans.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't pick them out. You don't know who they are. They don't have signs on their back. I'm an immigrant and you're not. It's just that guy said it perfectly for all of us, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well said.
And she really didn't have any kind of response to that.
Yeah. Who was the moderator there? Jane?
I don't know.
But it was C-SPAN.
Yeah, it was C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
It is.
This is idiocracy, and we're experiencing a possible change of the weather here in this country if things don't go well in the next 7 days.
That's it. Are you going to vote early?
Yeah.
Going to get to that, Sam?
We're trying to.
Yep, sometime this week I'll be going out early probably.
Get in there.
I would have done it this morning. But
there's nothing that I hate more than waiting in line. So I'm not about that on election day.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. With the drop boxes being burned now.
Well, yes. Yeah, we heard that story.
It seems like it's almost dangerous to go out and stand in line like Joe Biden did yesterday to vote for Kamala Harris. He stood right in line with everybody else waiting to get in to cast their vote.
Yes.
That took bravery, and I think he had some fun doing it.
We'll continue with John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
Dig.
92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy in the morning family show.
Do I have to write it out?
Oh, God, could you write it out for me? Like when I said Gwen Eiffel, it's actually Sherilyn Eiffel.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to start screwing up your own names next?
Well, pretty soon. Gwen passed away, and Sherilyn is a professor at Howard University, and that was her comment.
Okay.
It wasn't like Gwen was making a prediction,
5
what would
years
happen
ago.
if Trump, took off the guardrails as a president. So.
And by the way, Washington Post guy, Jeff Bezos, has made some comments. He has an opinion piece about why the Washington Post doesn't have any opinion about who should be president. And, he's saying, there's no quid pro quo, pro quo. There's no, he just doesn't think that newspapers should be in the business of making endorsements.
Right.
The bottom line. Nobody pays any attention to that.
Problem is people are canceling their subscriptions to the Washington Post because of that.
Yeah, they lost 200,000 digital subscribers.
The lack of concern. I mean, the democracy is in the balance right now. I mean, it is on a thread, and they decided at this point in time not to come out and say anything, which is just outrageous. The LA Times, same thing.
Yeah.
This isn't the time to start, waffling or not putting yourself out on that limb.
No, don't stand up for freedom of the press or the Constitution or democracy or why? No, we better not say anything.
No, don't do that.
We don't want to get him pissed off or anything.
Yeah, we want to make the money, we can see that they're going to have government contracts someday. Yeah. Just an amazing thing.
It is.
This time.
I've never seen anything like that.
I have never.
It's just beyond the pale.
All right. Let's, we're talking about that. Let's talk about the New York Times in this case.
Okay.
Because the editor there, the opinion editor, came out and told us exactly what she thinks. This is cut 259. Let's listen to this comment.
This year, the editorial board has worked hard to explain the stakes in this election. We've said over and over and over again how Donald Trump is temperamentally and morally unfit to be president. Like for all of our editorials, the board has done reporting, we've done research on their policy positions, we've had deep discussions, we've relied on long-standing values and precedents. We got the input of our publisher, A.G. Sulzberger. I myself attended both Trump and Harris rallies, spoke to dozens of American voters, and attended both parties' political conventions. We concluded, as all voters should, that Vice President Harris is qualified for the job and Donald Trump is not. I invite you to read or listen to our editorial, There's Only One Patriotic Choice for President, on the Times website. And please, remember to vote in November.
There you go.
Okay.
Came right out and said it. And this is that kind of important time. And for a newspaper to say, well, we're just not going to do this anymore is cowardice.
It is.
And it's greed.
Just shut down the newspaper if you're not going to do, the important stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Trump has made a tremendous amount of promises. He's going to cut housing prices in half. He's going to cut food prices in half. He's going to cut energy prices in half. A few kind of empty promises there.
Well, he likes to sign his big signature on with a big magic marker on those documents and show them to the camera. He misses doing that.
It truly is an amazing thing. And he took credit, and I think this is what people actually remember about Trump's administration, is that it was such a great time because he told them it was a great time. It was the best time ever. It was the most successful administration in history, and people remember that, and that's what they want to go back to.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Buffoonery and hyperbolic
making it up
conversations. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Obama came out finally and said something about this at one of his speeches. But I have to feature this because it's about time he took credit for his economy that Trump took credit for. Let's listen to cut 212.
Okay. I've heard people say this, right? I'll talk to them. Why would you think about voting for this guy? Well, I remember the economy when he first came in. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was good because it was my economy.
Finally.
I had spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me.
The Great Recession.
And then I handed over 75 straight months of job growth to Donald Trump. And all he did was give tax cuts to folks who didn't need it, drove up the deficit in the process, and now he wants to do it again. You can't give him credit for that.
They did.
And then I hear, the other thing I hear, some folks will be like, well, Donald Trump sent me a check during the pandemic. No, y'all know, because I've heard this. I know some of you heard that. Hey, let me make sure y'all understand this. Joe Biden sent you a check during the pandemic, just like I gave people relief during the Great Recession. The thing is, we didn't put our name on it because it wasn't about feeding our egos. It wasn't about advancing our politics. It was about helping people. That's the difference. Don't be giving them credit for that.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm with you, man.
Yep.
I'm with you. What are you going to say?
He sent you a check. Do not fall for that okie doke. Don't be bamboozled.
but he is bamboozling a lot of people.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, just a week till the election.
Yep. All right.
It is 6:58. We'll continue with John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX. The big stories coming up.
It is.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning. 68 degrees currently. High near 80 today. It's going to be breezy at times. And it's time for the big story. Should we check some of our texts here?
Yeah,
wait,
why don't we go to a phone call first?
Okay.
Joe is on the line. Let's go there first before we get to our text and shred it to pieces. Let's talk to Joe.
Good morning, Joe.
Hi, guys. Congratulations on your first year birthday. That's
thank you.
exciting. I hope there's cake and pie for everybody. That's just a wonderful.
Oh, wait a minute. We don't have any of that here. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make you guys a cake.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. Yeah.
I just wanted to chime in a bit on this Washington Post story. I think, number one, if Mr. Bezos wanted to, seriously, he shouldn't be mucking in there with what the newsroom is doing. But if he were to do that, the whole business were to do that, to not endorse it all, well, you do that in March. You don't do it now. You don't do it, 2 weeks before the election, 10 days before the election. And are you going to not endorse on every single political office? So for mayor, for other issues, bond issues that come up, or only on this presidential election? And I think it's interesting. There was a guy that wrote, and I thought this was a really interesting point. Bezos is the second wealthiest person in the world, extremely wealthy. Is he getting? He made a big deal out of saying this is no quid pro quo.
Right.
And in a certain way, he had these meetings with this Blue Origin group that's related to space exploration, so this could be contracts in the future. But he already has a ton of contracts, apparently, with the government because he provides cloud services. His businesses provide cloud services to a lot of government entities, and that's a huge, steady contract. But what this person made the point that Bezos' reactions to this is kind of like what you get in mafia states, like Russia or Turkey, that sort of thing. Because what you're saying, there's this implicit threat down there. It's not even the quid pro quo. It's the threat that if you don't behave, you aren't going to get any government contracts. And government contracts in which, of course, I'll get a cut in some fashion. And it's mafia work. It's shaking people down. And if the second richest person in the world feels like he's being shaken down, what does it say for the rest of us? I mean, it's this implicit threat of you behave, or you give me my endorsement, or good luck to you. And I think that's kind of the bigger story out of this. And if somebody said always follow the money and always look at a timeline in which you decide not to endorse anybody 10 days before the election is a little suspect, more than a little suspect. Yeah, and look at the money here and the not even just the money he has presently, but the threat of taking money away in the future. That's how the mafia works, That's really how the mafia works.
And as you know, editorial departments are always separate from the news gathering departments. Always separate.
Supposed to be.
Yeah. And
supposed to be.
Of course, the thing is, Trump has been running for president since 2015. And no matter what happens, he's still going to keep running for president. He has so many rallies prior to even declaring that he's running for this particular office this time around. And so he has been out there threatening just about everybody. And that's why he has every Republican in his pocket. That's why people will not resist or say anything against him. They're worried about what he will do to them.
Well,
which is a reasonable fear. If he's, the Supreme Court is, unleashed him by saying, you have absolute immunity, or not absolute immunity, but we'll decide where your immunity is. And again, that's like a mafia state.
It is.
On case by case, we'll decide whether this, whether this goes forward or not. So, the threats are there. I had a friend who lived in Detroit. His family was mobbed up, but he wasn't. He was pure. But he was running a restaurant, and he said one of the things that was so emblematic of when his mobbed up friends or family came in, there was always a threat about the meal. It was always, this meal better be good. And he said, that's how it went, and that's a way of approaching the world. It better be good. I better be happy. So here we go, rolling toward the future, and hopefully, let's go back to the most important thing. Happy birthday to you guys. That's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
I just think it's so ironic. First of all, we're talking about the Washington Post, the paper that brought down Nixon with Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. And secondly, the comment about follow the money. That was Deep Throat's line to Bob Woodward in the parking garage. Follow the money for Watergate. And here, Bezos is just now the owner of it, and just can't bring themselves to fight for democracy and freedom of the press, free speech.
Yeah,
it's just the irony.
I mean, again, because it's a separate department, the editorial section is a separate department. I mean, you can make these declarations. You can endorse candidates without any pushback against the newspaper's news itself, the coverage it has.
Right. And Joe made a great point there about what about other issues like that? What about tax increase? I mean, any issue that comes along that you expect a paper like the Washington Post or any of the big papers to take a stand.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that either? No.
All
Anyway,
right.
thanks, Joe, for that comment. You can comment, too, 608-879-TALK. You can call us at that number, 879-8255, or text us there, or get on the Civic Media app.
That's right. Let's go to a text that we just got about inflation and what Trump promises to bring prices down and on and on and on. Also, my parents are on a fixed income. This person tweets or text rather. But the same 15 items they bought at Woodman's was what the cost was about $60 a week up until 2 weeks ago, when those same 15 items cost $100. And inflation is caused by too much government spending. Let me just correct it there. That is completely incorrect. That's not it at all. No. We saw, you might remember this, we had a COVID pandemic.
Right.
And everybody stayed indoors. No one went to the stores. No one purchased anything. You saw that the shipping yards on each coast were just standing still.
Right.
Supply chains were cut short. Consumers changed their purchasing from services to goods. So when they got the stimulus money to survive because they weren't working anymore, they went out and they bought goods, and there was a supply chain problem. So the goods went up in price, and greedflation then took place. The corporations and companies decided to raise their prices at the same time or shrink the amount of goods in these products. So that's part of it as well. So it's not government spending. Government spending is the same thing as giving a tax cut. You're taking money out of the general fund. So what do you want to do? You want to take it out for a tax cut for the people who are wealthy already? Or do you want to take that money out of the general fund and then spend it on us, where we put the money in there in the first place, right? Whoever this person is who texted us, we put the money in there. Let's get some of it back for services and helping us out here in this devastated country, as Trump likes to point out. Right. So it doesn't have anything to do with spending, government spending. And then also it says here $120 billion spent to Ukraine. Well, that's different. That's a whole different thing. And by the way, we are the greatest country in the world. The beacon of freedom, because we help other countries maintain their freedom.
Well, absolutely. Military spending, of course it's high, but yeah, we're all over the world helping.
That's right.
Other countries. Let's see here. It's 7:15. This portion of the John and Gordy Show brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress available on Madison's east and west side or online or at verlo.com. Now, we're going to get to the big story, which is still the Madison Square get-together, right, John?
It is. It is the big story. The Harris Walls campaign is already out with an ad featuring the racist remarks made about Puerto Rico from Trump's rally in New York City. Let's check that out. It's 2:57. Cut 2:57.
A floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I will never forget what Donald Trump did. He abandoned the island and offered nothing more than paper towels and insults. Puerto Ricans deserve better. As president, I will always fight for you and your families, and together we can chart a new way forward.
Yeah.
I remember Puerto Rico, with Trump down there tossing the paper towels out to the people.
It was so egregious, so condescending.
Yes.
I'm still, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that event. How he got away with that.
Yeah. Sickening.
My God. Well, okay, we've got another call here. Let's go to Dick on the line. Welcome, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
Yeah, and then Vance yesterday down in Racine, you heard his response. Oh, just get over it. Another thing I found really strange down the stretch here, now they're even going after the deceased as voters. He's suggesting now that everybody that stormed the beach at Normandy would vote for Donald Trump. I've never heard such a weird thing talked about in the first place. But secondly, hey, JD, that beach they stormed, they were going after the troops of your boss's hero, Hitler.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we play that cut from JD? He's talking about how much he liked the Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden. That would be cut 250. All right, let's play that.
And I was, like I said, I was in Madison Square Garden last night with the president, and we had well over 100,000 people between those inside and those outside, and they were, fired up.
No.
It was a celebration of America. You had a lot of fun at that rally, and you know what? Thank you. And you know what Kamala Harris and her team woke up this morning and decided to compare it to? They decided to compare us to literal Nazis for gathering in Madison Square Garden and celebrating the United States of America.
No, it wasn't true. Yes,
100,000 people.
Yeah.
No.
Wasn't it like 40,000?
No, I think it was more like 30. Most.
Yeah, something. I think the limit is much lower.
Yeah.
And the people outside, how can you count them? They're not listening to the whole rally. Anyway, let's go to, let's see here, Trump rally speaker. Oh.
You mean let's go to a break?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Let's go to a break.
And when we come back, we'll also check in with Brittany Merlot.
Yes.
Get the latest on this warm, windy
Incredible
weather that's
summer
headed
weather.
our way. 92.7 WMDX.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Brittany Merlot.
What's up?
Are you doing news and weather and
Everything.
everything? You're doing everything.
A little bit of everything. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it is.
John, why is your camera off?
Oh, it is.
What?
Am I just the first one?
What are you doing?
There it is.
Cut off the top of his head.
Oh.
Yeah. I keep moving around,
You can't sit still.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to mess it. All right. So windy and warm.
Records breaking everywhere. This morning.
Really?
Today. Probably
Really?
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then rain, not tomorrow, but day after tomorrow. Thursday.
Yeah. Wait.
So
Wednesday,
Halloween.
Thursday. Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday
Was it
afternoon
Hal-
into Thursday morning.
Okay.
Was that
I know.
Houston?
Hosting.
20 seconds.
Yep. All right. Anything you want to bring up?
Nah. I'll sneak it in there.
Thanks
Oh,
for
yeah,
playing
yeah,
our
sneak
game.
it in there.
Should we do interplanetary weather?
No.
No? Okay. No weather. No interplanetary weather.
92.7 WMDX. This is a show about nothing.
No, that's
not really.
Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got too many things to actually talk
We got
about.
plenty of something, yeah.
Working our way up to the election and everything. But first, we got to find out about the weather forecast because this is really unusual weather that we have. And Brittany Merlot is waiting to tell us anxiously about all the good news about what's coming up in the weather this weekend as well.
Right, yeah. And, I woke up this morning and went outside. I couldn't believe how warm it was.
Yeah, what is going on here?
Come on.
Seriously, my hands are sweating.
Yeah, are they?
They are. I'm warm. I am in a tank top, a Hawaiian shirt. I decided just for the occasion.
Nice. Yes.
I didn't wear it all summer, but today is the day that I'm wearing it because it's the end of October and summer is here on a surprise. So
yeah.
My gosh.
Surprise. Yeah.
You can walk out in shorts. You can leave in that tank top today and you'll be just fine, which is wild. Overnight lows. This morning, we broke records here in Madison. It was 63 degrees was the warmest low that we ever had on this day back in 1946. Well, our lowest low this morning was 64 degrees, and we're just going up.
All right.
And
All right.
up. I know. How about some 80s?
That's kind of funny because I don't think I've ever heard of a record low temperature
warm low.
before.
Well,
high temperatures, I can understand that, but overnight we've never. I don't recall ever hearing. Well, we've made a record low.
A warm low. Yeah.
A warm low.
Which is actually a high.
well,
a record high low.
Higher than it should be.
That's it. I'm confused now.
Climate change, global warming.
Nah, it doesn't exist.
Hurricanes.
Greatest
tornadoes.
hoax in the world.
Goodness, hard to deny, isn't it?
Yeah,
right. It sure is now. Yeah. So looking ahead, the next couple of days we're getting close to Halloween, and Halloween always seems to throw us a curveball. So what do we got this year?
Oh, spooky weather, just the same stuff. Good old curveball, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So after we hit these high spikes, we're going to get slammed with some heavy rainfall, potentially some severe storms, and then, not you guys, but if you want to watch the radar up north, they have the potential for some accumulating snowfall on Halloween morning and even into the afternoon.
No.
So it's going to be a wet, a damp, darker, windy, and cold Halloween, unfortunately.
Well, that's not going to be good.
No.
Well,
no,
up
no,
north, but here, not so. You think the rain's going to end before the kids are out? All the ghosts and goblins out trick or treating?
Say yes.
Yeah. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence.
You're hedging. Okay.
This system wants to sprinkle in some more scattered showers throughout our Thursday, so it could linger throughout the afternoon. But the majority of it, the worst of it, the heavy stuff, the storms, the soaking rain, that'll be gone. But we could still see a little bit of drizzle kind of lingering a little bit. But by the evening, it should start to leave. And by overnight, that's when we clear out and we just crash cold. But this system is a very slow mover.
Does it have anything to do with jet streams or anything else?
Is the government making up the weather?
Yeah, wait. Is the government controlling this?
Yeah.
No.
I swear.
I dial up something else.
Yeah.
I would put it on snow, full blast for Wisconsin.
Right.
By power.
Does this bode for a warmer winter, do you think? Or have you heard anything about
extended forecast?
Well, just in general, over the past few years, Wisconsin as a whole has warmed about 2 to 3 degrees with our overnight lows, those overnight high lows. And here we are breaking records both tonight, tomorrow night. It's the trend.
All right. Okay.
Well, Brittany, thank you. And we'll get the latest again tomorrow morning and look ahead to maybe Election Day.
And maybe interplanetary.
Interplanetary weather tomorrow?
I think so.
All
right. Sounds good.
All right.
Surprise us.
Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Brittany.
Bye,
That's
guys.
Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist.
Okay, our big story, of course, the Madison Square Garden rally that Trump had, and Sonny Hostin on The View had a comment about the shots that Puerto Rico took.
Right.
So let's listen to 246.
This Puerto Rican has something to say about the island that I love, where my family is from. Puerto Rico is trash. We are Americans, Donald Trump. Americans. We voluntarily serve disproportionately high in the military while you have bone spurs. And we vote Pennsylvania is home to almost 500,000 Puerto Ricans. North Carolina, 115,000. Georgia, 100,000. Arizona, 64,000. Wisconsin, 61,000. Michigan, 43,000. Nevada, 27,000. We vote Donald Trump. Trash. And by the way, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, Bad Bunny, Luis Fonsi, and Mark Anthony have over 345 million followers on Instagram. I think you only have 26 million, since you care so much about size. And we don't like what was said about Puerto Rico. And we know how to take the trash out, Donald Trump. Trash that has been collecting since 2016. And that's you, Donald Trump.
Whoa. Mic drop.
Finally, my fellow Puerto Ricans, Trash Collection Day is November 5th, 2024.
Nailed it. Let's listen to Mark Anthony's comment on this. It's 2:60.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
We can fit this in, I'm sure.
This is Mark Anthony. Even though some have forgotten, I remember what it was like when Trump was president. I remember what he did and he said about Puerto Rico, about our people.
Puerto Rico.
I remember after Hurricane Maria devastated our island, Trump blocked billions in relief while thousands died. I remember when our families lacked clean water and electricity, Trump threw paper towels and called Puerto Rico dirty and poor. I was not surprised because I also remember that he launched his campaign by calling Latinos criminals and rapists. He told us what he'll do. He'll separate children from their families and threaten to use the army to do it. This election goes way beyond political parties. Let's remember what the United States represents and stands for. United, regardless of where we're from. I am Mark Anthony and I remember. That's why I support Kamala Harris for president.
You know, the comedian that kind of spurred all of this on, his script, what he was going to talk about, had been screened by the Trump people. They even took jokes out they didn't like. So
They didn't do a very good job, did they?
No, there's no excuse for what happened, and this is an endorsement by Trump, essentially.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, it is 7:29. We'll be back with John and Gordy in the morning. Lots more right around the corner on 92.7 WMDX.
Having a heat wave. Ooh, how she moves. Temperature proves she certainly can.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Secondhand Omelet Shop, the only diner in town featuring refried eggs. This week only, you can buy 2 of Ed's famous eggshell omelets for only half the price of 4.
What a deal.
Yeah, what a deal. Let's go
Good
back
stuff.
to let's go back to short stack.
7:34.
92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy in the Morning Family Show. Might see,
Close.
I'm combining all of the names.
Okay. You go with that. Our high today, John, about 80 degrees. Unbelievably warm. Right now it's 68. It's going to be breezy, too.
Let's go back to Madison Square Garden.
Oh, do
this
we
time,
have to?
yeah, we really have to kind of wrap this thing up, okay?
yeah.
Before we get to the drop boxes that are burning and on fire in other parts of the country, Joe Scarborough pointed out that maybe Trump could have come out and said something against the comments that were said previous.
Apologies?
He had a lot of time to think it over. He heard all the comments. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was out in the back, just sleeping. Sleep. All right, let's get to the comments from Joe Scarborough.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
And by the way, Donald Trump knew by the time he went on stage the reaction he was getting. But he also knew, hey, maybe some bigots on the far right, maybe some angry young men will be motivated and think that's funny and they'll be on my side.
Right.
So Donald Trump, knowing what he said, knowing that Puerto Rico is called a floating pile of trash, Donald Trump remained silent. No, don't go, that's like, okay, Puerto Ricans, you know. Americans, you know, as you have to speak to your child this morning, to say that all Americans don't think that way, but Donald Trump does.
Yeah.
The people that spoke after the comedian do. There was a very clear opportunity to mitigate the damage, and every speaker last night refused to do it.
This is what's called normalizing, normalizing hatred. And let's not mince words about what that leads to. That is the process that leads to fascism.
And you got to think that he should have said something.
He should have said,
right, if he really disagreed with any of the comments said previous to his appearance out on stage, but he didn't, and that's a good point. Former chair of the RNC, Michael Steele, also chimed in, and he said this about last night. Did you hear the one about the black man carving a watermelon? And, and what was that about Puerto Rico? Some of y'all can pretend, if you want to, rationalize your own misogyny and racism because you like his policies, but at some point, you are the headline. And he also chimed in with this in Elon Musk X post, which is just egregious, saying, for those who continue to make excuses and rationalizations about Donald Trump after the Madison Square Garden last night, here is the role modeling you can explain to your son or daughter from Elon's PAC. Okay, and this is an actual tweet from that PAC, America's PAC. He wrote, this is just so bizarre. America really can't afford a C word in the White House right now. And, of course, knowing that Elon will probably be a part of that administration.
Right.
This is his group, his organization, America's PAC, and America PAC, and it's, the C word in the White House.
Wow.
Man.
It's amazing.
It's just how would they get away with this kind of stuff with the MAGAs out there? Well, it's his policies. Everything was so nice back then. I don't care about all this. He's not going to do any of that stuff. I heard review. Yeah, people
a
have
tough
said
guy.
that.
He can go up against.
He's
Putin.
a mob boss.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
We need a leader. We need a tough guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Well. This came out. I just thought this was an amazing coincidence. I saw this on the news live in person. This was a breaking news story, and it's cut 252. I'll get that ready. Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories, pose major threat to 2024 elections. So says the U.S. intelligence. And they warn that there are going to be terrorism at these polling places,
right?
And also the drop boxes. So let's listen to this warning from U.S. intelligence.
Department of Homeland Security are warning law enforcement agencies that domestic violent extremists are seeking to terrorize and disrupt the vote. Let's get more now from NBC. Agents from the FBI and the intelligence agencies are warning of threats of violence in the upcoming election. In a joint intelligence bulletin, agents from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning law enforcement agencies that domestic violent extremists are seeking to terrorize and disrupt the vote. Let's get more now from NBC's Ken Delaney. What more can you tell us about this warning, Ken?
Good morning, Anna. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning in this new intelligence bulletin of the heightened risk of lone wolf attacks by domestic extremists motivated by election-related conspiracy theories, including beliefs in widespread voter fraud and their hatred of their political opponents. This will surprise no one who's been paying attention, but it's significant that these agencies are putting this out to local law enforcement a week before the election. The new unclassified bulletin says the goal of these attacks would be to terrorize and disrupt the vote. And to be clear, this document does not describe intelligence about any specific threat. It talks about a general atmosphere of anger and misinformation that could prompt unstable people to engage in threats or violence. And of course, we've already seen that in recent weeks with a series of arrests for election threats, including a man in Philadelphia who allegedly threatened to skin election workers alive. And remember last week, police in Phoenix arrested a person in connection with a mailbox fire that damaged around 20 ballots. The report identified potential targets of violence to include candidates, elected officials, election workers, members of the media, and judges involved in election cases. The potential threats include physical attacks and violence at polling places, ballot drop boxes, voter registration locations, and rallies and campaign events. And of course, Anna, the report doesn't say this, but it's obvious that a lot of these extremists are driven by years of lies about the election, 2020 election, by Donald Trump and his allies.
A very, very important warning, Ken Delaney, and thank you for bringing us that.
The MAGAs are definitely trying to return to voter integrity and protect the vote, as you can see, right?
So intimidation.
Now there are
threats.
hundreds of ballots that were burned in Vancouver from a ballot box, a drop box there. Let's listen to that. That's cut 247. This is the initial report on it.
Okay.
From K2 News, this is breaking news.
That breaking news, 2 incidents involving ballot boxes this morning. We'll start with what's happening in Vancouver. That is on the left side of your screen. We just watched firefighters pry open the back of this ballot box, which is obviously on fire. We were watching it smoke for the past half hour or so. And they pulled the back of the ballot box out, and a bunch of ballots that are on fire poured out onto the ground. They're trying to put the fire out now. Obviously, it is steaming. It's pouring rain there. We don't know how many ballots were in this box, but obviously they are destroyed. This is going to be a big problem. This is happening again at the Park and Ride ballot location at Fisher's Landing in Vancouver. We're also tracking breaking news at the Multnomah County Elections Office. That is on the right side of your screen right now, where police found an incendiary device at this ballot box. We have K2's Joe English live on the scene there, gathering new information. That is obviously taped off as police investigate that. So big concerns at least 2 ballot boxes coming just 8 days before Election Day.
There you go. So that was what we were warned about by U.S. intelligence, and it's happening. And the Vancouver drop box, I didn't know this, but they have in these boxes, they have fire retardants.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if somebody tries to set it on fire, the retardant will go off and put out the flames instantly. All these boxes have fire retardants in them. In Vancouver, they did have a fire retardant in, but it didn't work well. Okay.
Oh.
So the officials there are really angry about the fact that these fire retardants that they had in the boxes did not work. And that's why there are hundreds of ballots that were burned in this one box that you heard in that possible report. They do have now. A lot of people were commenting, well, don't they have cameras on all these drop boxes? They
Right.
did. They have an actual photo of the vehicle that pulled up and put this in there. I don't know how they get it into that tiny little slot. Then I thought with a slot so narrow, and I've been to our drop box in Middleton, it's hard to get anything in there, even an envelope, a thick envelope. So they got it in there somehow. But they do have a Volvo that they have identified. They actually have identified it. I believe they know who the person is, and they're pursuing that individual. We'll see what happens with that. But Portland, of course, they had better fire retardants in their drop boxes, and it worked perfectly, put out the flames instantly. No ballots were destroyed in Portland.
Good.
So that's what's happening.
Yep.
So get out there and vote early, folks.
Well, that's it.
Don't stand in line. Don't be a target. Like I say, U.S. intelligence is warning that there are terrorist attacks going on, and warnings all over the country.
Yep.
We've been talking about the confusing language about voting early. You can vote by mail, or you can get an absentee ballot and drop it in a ballot drop box. But you can also vote in person early, and it's kind of got a weird name. It's in-person absentee, which is a little bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
In-person absentee voting.
In-person / absentee.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I did the other day. We're getting some texts. You can text us at 608-879-8255. And that's also our phone number. And, in fact, we have Mark on the line right now with a question or a comment. Good morning, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. It seems like for the MAGA crowd, the MAGAs bow and pray to the orange god they've made, to paraphrase the Simon and Garfunkel song. That it is just these stories just knock me out. And just for J.D. Vance to whine about, well, you should just laugh. If a joke's not funny, you just laugh it off. Well, Mr. Vance, part of the thing for free speech is you have to take responsibility for the speech that you actually let over your pie hole. And apparently, and as you guys have pointed out, and I heard last night, that apparently all the jokes that this clown told about Puerto Rico was actually vetted by the Trump people for their little Madison Square Garden Bund rally that they had, and that they approved those jokes about Puerto Rico.
They did.
And and you can't and you can't do it physically anymore. But it's time to give these Republicans a metaphysical punch in the nose over the speech that they're giving, because back in the old days, this is the kind of speech that would get you punched in the nose. That's part of the thing for free speech, is that you have to take consequences for what you talk about. I'm sorry to be repeating myself, but it's just so disgusting what they said.
Yeah, right.
And for them to delete the C word,
I know it's unbelievable.
It just unbelievable.
Yeah. All right,
unbelievable.
All right,
Thanks,
Mark.
guys.
Yep, I
Mark,
appreciate
thank you for
it.
that.
Well, let's get to a comment from AOC on this. This is cut 162 about the rally in New York. Let's listen to that.
Right now, the campaign is scrambling, and they're trying to blame this rhetoric on a so-called comedian. This is not a comedian. This is the Trump campaign. They invited this rhetoric on their stage for a reason. It was a chorus of speakers on that campaign for a reason. It was vetted, and they knew exactly who was going to say what before they went on. And so the only backtracking that they're doing right now is just because tens of thousands of Puerto Ricans happen to live in Philadelphia, Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, and also the several swing seats in the House of Representatives that run through the state of New York. And they're just realizing that they might have made a big error by saying out loud what they're thinking.
Yep, there you go.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Hey, in just a few moments, we've got kind of an interesting observation from John Oliver, who discovered Lee Greenwood is...
Well, Lee Greenwood
is branching out. His song, the song that Trump loves so much.
Proud to be an American.
Yes.
What?
Now it's proud to be a Canadian.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Are
you kidding me?
Yeah, I've got this coming up in just a moment.
Okay,
This
we've
is
got
great
that.
stuff.
We've got this, that, and the other odds and ends, leftovers coming up next on John and Gordy in the Morning, 92.7 WMDX.
Terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers.
Leftovers?
I kept the leftovers.
The leftovers!
Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half. He ate those leftovers.
Funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
All right, we've got a few of those.
92.7 WMDX 751. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com.
Trump propagandist Stephen Miller had a comment at the Madison Square Garden rally.
Always interesting to hear what he has to say.
Well, you know, he's touchy-feely. This guy just...
he's warm and fuzzy.
He is.
Yeah.
Let's listen to his comment. All right, let's listen.
The cartels are gone. The criminal migrants are gone. The gangs are gone. America is for Americans and Americans only.
There you go. Sweet. All right, let's...
One man. And that man, ladies and gentlemen, that man took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for democracy.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
The Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
Joe asked him, "Can I see your ear?" And he
did
looked.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
looked at
I
looked
missed
at
that
his
part.
ear, and he said, "Really? Where is that? Where?" Oh, it healed up fast. My God, something wrong about this whole situation. I am sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, I know somebody died, but maybe I don't know. Look, I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay.
But anyway, okay, now we know that Stephen Miller said America is for Americans and Americans only, right?
Right.
Hitler said in 1934, Germany is for Germans and Germans only. Coincidence?
Familiar.
All right, now
Similar.
let's get to something that John Oliver dug up. This is a surprising change of allegiance for Lee Greenwood.
Really? What?
Yeah.
What's he getting into this for?
This is great stuff. Let's listen to John Oliver on this thing.
Okay.
You can stomach his song being used on the grounds it's a uniquely American tribute to this singular country. But is it? Because it turns out, just 5 years after he released God Bless the USA, he released another song, and it's going to sound very familiar to you until it suddenly doesn't.
And I'm proud to be in Canada, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless you, Canada.
It doesn't even fucking rhyme! It doesn't rhyme! You cannot keep defend her still today if you're not willing to sing God Bless You, Canada. You can't do it! But the point is, he took his quintessentially American song and switched a few words so it would be about Canada instead. The rest of it is him just finding and replacing Canadian places for American ones. Take a listen.
From the shores of Nova Scotia to the forests in BC, Montreal to Winnipeg, from sea to shining sea.
Come on! You can't just pack your song in with place names like a Mad Libs and call it a day. You know why? Because you'll get real YouTube comments like this one saying, I am from Rwanda and Mr. Greenwood has not made a version for us yet. See? It's a slippery slope, Lee.
Oh, man, that's wild stuff.
That's great.
Oops, I almost slipped something in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
it's okay. We took care of this.
Did we get it?
Oh yeah,
We got. Where's that from originally?
Move on. What?
No, HBO. It's HBO, right? John Oliver's on HBO.
Whatever it is.
Oh, it's John Oliver. Okay.
Yeah, John Oliver.
Well, that's the magic of cable television.
It is. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Late night cable television.
Yeah.
I never watch his show, but he has great stuff on there. He's got a great research department.
Oh, yeah. He's funny.
Yeah.
It's great. Good deal.
Hey, you and I are big fans of Mark Maron.
Oh yeah.
And I'm wondering if
he's got a great podcast.
Yeah.
Been on for more than 10 years, I think.
And he's out there, and he's very angry about the fact that a lot of comedians are taking off and riffing on fascism and you know the Trump fascism that's out there, and they're making jokes about it.
Yeah.
They're talking about it.
Right.
They're making it sound normal, like this is just a normal everyday thing you can have fun with, you know, parody. He's very angry about that.
Well, sure. Well, he's been...
Because he says it's normalizing the idea of fascism in this country.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have the cut from him? Or
well,
no?
I don't know. Can you look that up? It's...
okay.
I'm trying to find it. And
what's the guy's name?
Mark Maron. Maron. Mark is with a C. M-A-R-C. Okay.
Oh, I got it. I got it. It's 2:24.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to have... Yeah, we can play it. Let's play Mark Maron here.
Trump has ruined irony for everybody. I could say things to you that you immediately would have went, that's ridiculous. But now you're like, yeah, I guess. Like if I said to you, like, dude, you read that thing this morning? They're going to make the Grand Canyon a landfill. You'd be like, Trump, right? Trump's guy. Yeah. And I'd be like, just half of it, though. Like, they're going to leave half normal because that's pretty. But how much do you really need to see, right? And it's a big hole. There's a lot of garbage. And I don't know. I bet you some people go just for the garbage because that's a lot to see, right?
That's a lot of garbage.
Like if I said to you, like, hey, did you read that thing? It's okay to hunt at zoos. You know, you'd be like, Trump's EPA guy? Yeah, it's going to be weird for the kids, but, you know... They got to learn that sometime.
Yeah.
About death. And mine will be violent with animals they love.
That's good.
He is really fantastic.
Fun stuff. Hey, tomorrow, Mike McCabe will join us, author and blogger, Substack. Also, John and Gordy celebrating 1 year on the air tomorrow.
1 whole year. How did that happen?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I thought by now they would have stopped it.
Well, it's not too late. Don't jinx us. Stephanie Miller is coming up next here.
You look worried.
92.7 WMDX. Have a great day.
I have a bomb right here.